If you're managing affordable housing in Connecticut, you're probably always searching for ways to make things better for your residents on the property, right?
Absolutely, especially when it comes to saving money.
Well, today we're diving into something that could be a game changer for you, zero-cost solar installations, specifically for affordable housing here in Connecticut.
It sounds almost too good to be true, right?
It does. And it's all possible because of how a federal program and a Connecticut program work together.
That's right, the Federal Investment Tax Credit and Connecticut's RESS program.
But there's a catch. This opportunity may not be around for long. We're talking about a limited time frame, possibly ending as early as 2025.
So let's break down what makes this such a unique opportunity. First, there's the ITC, the Investment Tax Credit, a federal tax credit that covers 30% of solar installation costs. It's been a major factor in the growth of solar across the country, leading to billions in investments and thousands of jobs.
So the federal government chips in 30% upfront. Got it. But what about Connecticut's RESS program? How does that play into this zero-cost scenario?
RES is designed to encourage renewable energy here in Connecticut. They offer what are called performance-based incentives. Basically, you get paid for every kilowatt hour of electricity your solar panels produce.
So you actually make money from the energy your building generates.
Exactly. These payments, known as solar renewable energy credits, provide a consistent income stream that helps cover the remaining cost of the solar installation after that initial 30% from the ITC.
So just to be clear, the feds cover 30% upfront with the ITC, and then Connecticut's RES program provides ongoing payments for the energy produced, essentially taking care of the rest of the costs. Amazing.
And that's where a company like Nexys Energy comes in.
Okay, tell me more.
Nexys specializes in developing and installing these solar systems for affordable housing. They've become experts at navigating this unique combination of federal and state programs.
So they really know how to make this work.
Yeah, they've done it before. And what's really great about Nexys is their commitment to managing the entire process for you at zero cost.
No upfront costs, no hidden fees. That's incredible.
They take care of everything. The feasibility study, financing, installation, and even ongoing maintenance.
As a property manager, you don't have to worry about any of the technical details.
Not at all. They even handle all the paperwork, the permitting, and even community outreach to ensure your residents understand and support the solar project.
That's a huge relief, especially for property managers who may not have the time or the expertise to figure all that out on their own. But you mentioned earlier that this opportunity might not be around forever. Why is 2025 such a crucial turning point?
The ITC, that 30% tax credit, is incredibly valuable, but it's not guaranteed to last. There's a chance it could be reduced or even eliminated in the coming years, which would have a significant impact on the economics of solar projects.
So basically, if the ITC goes away, this whole zero-cost model might disappear too.
Exactly. We've seen this happen before, actually. Past reductions in the ITC have led to slowdowns in the solar market. And with a potential shift in the political landscape, these changes could happen faster than we expect.
So property managers could miss out on this zero-cost opportunity if they wait too long.
That's the risk. If the ITC were to be reduced or eliminated, we're potentially talking about cost increases of 30% or more, making solar projects much harder to finance.
That makes sense. So there's definitely a sense of urgency here. But, I've heard from other property managers that solar projects can take forever.
I can understand that concern.
All that red tape and potential delays, especially with the unique complexities of affordable housing.
I see what you're saying.
They worry they just won't have enough time to get it all done before this opportunity disappears. Is that a valid concern?
It's definitely a concern worth addressing, but I think with a provider like Nexys, who has a really streamlined process and a lot of experience, those timelines can be much shorter than people might expect.
Really? So it's not as daunting as it might seem?
Not necessarily.
All right, so if a property manager decides to explore this with Nexys, what would the timeline realistically look like? Let's break it down step by step.
Sure. So the first step is a consultation and feasibility study. This usually takes 1 to 2 months.
Okay, and what happens during that phase?
Nexys will come in and assess your property's potential for solar, looking at things like roof size, orientation, and shading.
They're checking to see if solar is even a good fit for the building.
Right. And they'll also analyze your energy usage to determine the optimal system size. They'll estimate your potential savings as well.
So they'll give you a good idea of what to expect.
Right. And then once the feasibility study is complete, they move on to design and engineering. This also takes about 1 to 2 months.
So we're around 4 months now.
Yeah, roughly. And during this phase, they create detailed plans for the solar system, including the layout of the panels, the electrical components, and how it will connect to the grid.
And then what?
The next phase is permitting and approvals, and this can be the most time-consuming part.
Ah, yes. The dreaded paperwork.
But Nexys is really good at navigating the regulatory landscape. They know how to work with local building departments and utility companies. So even though this phase can be a bit tricky, they usually get it done within 2 to 3 months.
Okay, so we're at about 6 to 7 months now. And then what?
Then comes procurement and installation. Nexys handles all of that too, from ordering the equipment to working with licensed electricians and contractors. This typically takes another 2 to 4 months.
So we're at about 8 to 11 months. And then what's the last step?
The final step is commissioning and interconnection. This is where the system is connected to the grid and thoroughly tested. It usually takes about a month.
So if we add it all up, we're looking at a total timeline of roughly 9 to 12 months from that initial consultation to having a fully functional solar system, which isn't bad considering all that's involved.
Exactly. And the whole time, Nexys acts as your single point of contact, guiding you through each step.
Okay, so it seems like a pretty smooth process.
Yeah.
But I'd love to hear a real-world example of how this has worked in practice. Could you give us a concrete case study?
We actually have a great example right here in Connecticut, the Danbury case study. Nexys partnered with a cooperative housing community in Danbury to install a zero-cost solar array.
And how did that turn out?
It's been a huge success, significant cost savings for both the residents and the property.
Can you give us some specifics? What kind of savings are we talking about?
Sure. Each tenant in that community is estimated to save about $500 per year.
Wow. So each resident saves $500 annually just from having solar panels on their building.
Yes. And that's over a 20-year period.
So these savings are locked in for the long term.
Absolutely.
This Danbury case study is really a testament to how this zero-cost solar program can benefit everyone involved. But it sounds like there's more to it than just the financial benefits, right?
You're absolutely right. Solar adoption in affordable housing has a ripple effect. It goes beyond individual wallets. We're talking about environmental sustainability, public health, and even community pride.
I'm eager to dive into those aspects, but first we'll take a quick break. We'll be back in a moment to explore the broader impacts of solar energy on affordable housing communities. Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking about those amazing savings for residents in that Danbury cooperative housing community, thanks to Nexys Energy's zero-cost solar program.
It's really inspiring to see how these projects are already making a difference.
Absolutely. But
Yeah.
it goes beyond just saving money, right?
Right. Solar adoption in affordable housing has benefits that go way beyond just the financial side of things.
We're talking about things like environmental sustainability, even public health.
And community pride, too.
Let's start with the environmental impact. We all know that reducing our dependence on fossil fuels is important for climate change. But how does solar energy specifically contribute to that goal?
Solar energy is a clean and renewable source of power. Unlike fossil fuels, it doesn't produce air or water pollution, which has really significant implications for public health.
Especially in communities that are already disproportionately impacted by environmental burdens, right?
Exactly. Low-income communities and communities of color often face the worst of it when it comes to pollution from power plants and industrial facilities.
So by transitioning to clean energy like solar, we can help reduce those disparities.
Yeah, it's about creating a healthier and more equitable environment for everyone.
So solar energy is helping to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, improve air quality, and promote environmental justice. What other benefits are there?
Don't forget about the social benefits. Solar installations can really be a catalyst for community engagement and empowerment.
In what way?
You know, when residents see solar panels on their rooftops, it can spark conversations about energy conservation and sustainability.
That's a great point. It's like a visual reminder of the community's commitment to a better future.
And it can create a sense of pride, knowing that they're part of something positive.
Absolutely. And there's another important benefit we should mention: energy independence.
That's a big one, especially for affordable housing.
Residents can generate their own electricity, right?
That's right, which means less reliance on the grid and more protection from those volatile energy prices.
This is so important, especially for residents who are on fixed incomes.
Exactly. Solar can give them a sense of security and stability, knowing that their energy costs are more predictable and manageable.
Especially as we head into an uncertain future with these potential policy changes looming.
That's right. The future of the ITC is uncertain. But even if things change, solar is still a smart choice for affordable housing.
It's good to know there are companies like Nexus Energy that are committed to making this transition to solar as smooth as possible for property managers.
They're really a great partner to have in this process.
They handle all the technical and financial complexities so property managers can focus on what's most important.
Which is providing safe, affordable, and sustainable housing for their residents.
Okay, so let's be realistic for a moment. There are always going to be concerns and potential challenges when it comes to implementing new things, especially in the world of affordable housing.
Of course, change can be difficult.
What are some of the things that property managers might be worried about when it comes to going solar?
I think one common concern is just the perceived complexity of the whole process.
I could see that.
Property managers might be worried about all the technical aspects like permits and approvals.
And of course, there are always the financial aspects to consider.
But that's where a company like Nexus really shines. They have a dedicated team that handles everything, from that initial feasibility study to connecting the system to the grid.
So they're really with you every step of the way.
Absolutely. And they're experts at securing the financing and taking advantage of the incentives to make sure that the project is truly zero cost.
So Nexus is basically a one-stop shop for all things solar.
Pretty much, they take all the guesswork out of it for you.
What about concerns related to residents? How do you make sure that they're on board with these solar projects?
Community buy-in is so important for these projects to succeed.
For sure.
That's why Nexus has a whole program for community outreach.
To educate the residents about the benefits of solar.
Right, to answer questions and to address any concerns that they might have.
They're not just slapping solar panels on roofs. They're really trying to build understanding within the community.
That's right. And they work closely with property managers to make sure that their outreach is tailored to the specific needs of the community.
So it's about creating a sense of shared ownership.
And it's about ongoing support. Nexus doesn't just disappear after the installation is done.
So they help property managers communicate with residents about the project.
Exactly. They provide data on the performance of the system, how much energy is being saved, and even the positive environmental impact.
That's great to hear. It sounds like Nexus is really committed to making this a good experience for everyone.
They are. Their goal is to make the transition to solar as smooth and as beneficial as possible.
We've covered a lot in this deep dive, from the financial benefits to the environmental and social impacts of solar. But I think it's time to take a step back and look at the bigger picture.
Okay.
Why should we care about solar energy, especially in the context of affordable housing? What's the message we want our listeners to walk away with?
I think it's important to remember that affordable housing is about so much more than just providing a roof over someone's head.
It's about creating strong and resilient communities, right?
Right. And access to clean and affordable energy is a fundamental part of that.
Solar energy can really empower these communities.
In so many ways.
When residents have lower energy bills, they have more money to spend on other essential things.
It can alleviate so much financial stress and contribute to their overall well-being.
Absolutely. And when we consider the environmental benefits, it's clear that solar is a perfect fit for affordable housing.
It just makes sense.
It's about creating a more equitable and sustainable future.
A future where everyone has the opportunity to thrive.
And the Danbury case study really shows us that this vision can become a reality.
We're seeing real, tangible results.
Lower energy bills, a smaller carbon footprint, a more sustainable community.
Exactly.
But this opportunity might not be around forever.
That's the thing. These incentives, especially that 30% federal ITC, are what make this zero-cost solar model possible.
And it's all potentially going away in 2025.
Possibly, we just don't know for sure.
So if you're a property manager who's considering solar, what's the most important message you want to leave them with?
Now is the time to act. Don't wait.
Don't miss out on this chance to transform your property and your community.
Reach out to Nexus Energy. Have a conversation. Explore the possibilities.
What's the worst that can happen?
Exactly. Even if you're not ready to commit right away, start the conversation now. That way you can gather information and be prepared when the time is right.
Because even if the policies change, the benefits of solar energy will always be there.
That's right. Solar is a long-term investment. It's about creating a legacy of sustainability.
A legacy for your community and for future generations. What legacy will you leave behind? That's something for all of us to think about.
We've seen how solar energy can truly transform affordable housing communities. It's not just about the numbers.
It's about creating a brighter future for everyone.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found this information helpful and empowering.
And remember, The future is solar-powered, and the time to act is now. So we've been talking about this incredible opportunity for affordable housing in Connecticut to install solar with no upfront costs. But it seems like it's about so much more than that, right?
It really is. When we think about affordable housing, it's crucial to remember that access to clean and affordable energy is fundamental to creating strong and resilient communities.
That's such a good point. When residents have lower energy bills, it frees up their income for other essential things.
It takes some of the pressure off.
Exactly, like food and healthcare, things that really matter.
Absolutely. And when we look at the environmental benefits of solar, it aligns perfectly with the values of affordable housing.
Reducing emissions, improving air quality, those things benefit everyone, but they're especially impactful in these communities.
Definitely. It's about creating a more just and sustainable future, a future where everyone can thrive.
And the Danbury case study really illustrates how this can actually happen.
We're seeing real-world results, lower bills for residents, a smaller carbon footprint.
It's really inspiring, but this opportunity isn't going to be around forever, right? We talk about how these policies could change in the coming years.
It's true. Those incentives, especially the Federal ITC, have really created this perfect moment for zero-cost solar installations.
And that might be changing as early as 2025.
Yeah, there's definitely a sense of urgency.
So for property managers who are on the fence about this, what would you tell them?
I would say, don't wait. This is your chance to make a real difference.
Reach out to Nexies, start a conversation.
Even if you're not ready to commit right now, just get the ball rolling.
Gather the information.
Exactly. Because even if things change at the policy level, the core benefits of solar energy are always going to be there.
It's a long-term investment.
It's about creating a legacy of sustainability.
What legacy will you leave behind? That's a powerful question, and it gets to the heart of what we're talking about here. Solar can transform these communities.
It's not just about saving money. It's about creating a brighter future for everyone.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We hope you found it helpful.
We hope it empowers you to take action.
The future is solar-powered, and the time to act is now.